This is probably the most busted combo that I have used so far in this game. And we're going to talk about it. So some of you may already know this. I don't know. I just learned about it today, basically. But this is going to be a team comp that I will show you. And I did beat this boss already once, but I reset it so I could show you guys again. Plus, the second half of the boss fight is pretty rough. But this is basically a synergy between Sabrina and Q something something. Now, you also can use Groza if that's all you have. You don't have Sabrina. However, she is less good at this. Basically, just like a worse version of the other doll, basically. But so here's what the synergy is, and what's so powerful is we already know Q, right? You probably know if you've watched my videos. But you gain energy, and then after you deal damage, when not under cover, you deal 10% more damage. When an enemy unit within range receives targeted damage from an ally, performs one instance of action support. Now, we already know this doesn't trigger on things like these action supports. It doesn't trigger on things like these wise supports, or someone has something called like a wise support. There's other kinds of support, you know. There's like the wise support, action support, that kind of stuff. And then there's also, is it Suomi? No, it's here. I think you're the one with wise support, aren't you? You have an action support, but it happens first, so it doesn't trigger off those. But what it does trigger off of is is feeling full. Now this gives you, not when you use feeling full, but when you're under the effects of feeling full, you get to counterattack. Counterattack counts as a normal attack. So counterattack will work. If they attack you, you will counterattack, and then you will trigger this. And in fact, you could trigger all kinds of things. You could do like a whole team kind of built around it, which is going to be perfect for a boss fight where they have predictable moves that you could do. So you have to be targeted by a single target attack. Deals targeted damage. So if they're doing an AoE attack, you won't counterattack. But what does this ability do? So basically, she has a passive where whenever an ally unit is attacked, they gain shelter. She gives them shelter if they're within 7 tiles. And then she gains index for each thing. After using a skill, you generate tide away within the area. And then if you generate a second tide away, it basically explodes it. Tide away is pretty good for Sabrina. I'll do a full video on her, but this is more about the synergy and the team. But this Gourmet Spirit applies 2 stacks of shelter to all units, and you gain Feeling Full. Feeling Full increases your attack, and then your passive affects the entire map. So no matter where your allies are, they're getting 2 stacks of shelter, and whenever they get attacked, they're going to get a 3rd stack of shelter, which is very good because it just reduces, it basically reduces the amount of what's it called, stability that they're taking. But then after while having Feeling Full, you will counterattack up to 3 times per turn. So Groza also has counterattack, and it's not on her ultimate. I think it's just part of her passive. But she only gets to use this once a turn. Maybe there's a fortification that turns it up to more than once a turn, but it's just not going to be as good. However, the synergy will still work there, and I think it could very much be worth doing if you are not a Sabrina haver. But eventually this character will be free to play for everyone. And on specific fights, this is insane. So I'm going to go ahead and go into this fight, and I'll show you the team. Knowing me, I'm not going to beat the fight this time, but we'll kind of go through it. So this is on tier 6. So we're going here. I'm level 39, and we're going up against a level 40 guy. So it's not like that crazy, but we're also using Weak Boy, and we're using a under-leveled Cheetah. So this team is not optimal, but they all have a very good point. This is basically a team for this boss fight. This team is very good, but just not for this level 45 boss is just too much. I think we're gonna have to get to 40 in order to push the stats basically high enough. You could also get Tololo here instead of our lady here, because I believe you also do the hydro stuff. So you could synergize there. But so everyone has a purpose. This is actually, Cheetah is insane when combined with this whole combo, because let's just go into it. She basically will heal a bunch. And honestly, Nemesis is just not that good. Maybe I just need to invest more into her. I'm trying, but her attack is just so low comparatively to the other characters. Maybe I need to get her some better attachments. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Let's restart this. First thing is, you got to position. They position your characters automatically, but this is a very specific here. So there is a little bit of RNG in this fight. First, we like having Sabrina up here because there's 2 ads there, and she's the tank. We like having our 4 movement down here because 4 movement's really short. You need to be able to get in front of these things on the left and right. And then this is basically fine. You're less tanky, so I like you being near the melee-ish guy because he has a harder time reaching you. So this is what we're going to do, but we're not necessarily trying to win this fight. We will play through it, but the idea is to show you the synergy here. So we are going to move you up here, and you start with 6, so you are just going to use your pressing the momentum. That will give you an extra thing, so you have 4 charges of attacks now. And then you're going to come up here. You're going to use your ultimate. I actually do want you to be the closest, but I want you to be near. I want you to be able to target this. This is typically what I like. If you can manage to be up here. Well, actually, let's take a look at your range. You can't quite reach. So maybe we do want you on this side instead. Like this. That way it would force that guy to move. That might actually be better here. So we can move you here. And then we are going to use our shelter, right? This is going to make it so whenever an ally gets attacked, we are going to counterattack. And it also gives them a bunch of stability. It recovers their stability, but they're already pretty much good in that regard. And now with our last characters, we can move you here. This will make you not the closest, unless you both count as 2 tiles away. But here's a little scary because you don't want to get hit by that. So we are actually going to use you to buff. You kind of do need to because it grants her support, right? So this will grant her support for 2 turns. That is her purpose here. She does apply buffs and she gets everyone stronger, but applying gain support, which can be activated 2 times for 2 turns, is actually huge. So let's go ahead and slow the speed down here so we can actually just look at the interactions as they happen. And I will move you back here. Defense down 2 is probably better at this point. So she's going to trigger and she's going to trigger. I actually almost don't want to attack, but we will. But watch what happens here. I know it feels crazy to play the game on this slow, but every time she attacks, she also gets the heal, which is very good in combination with like Sabrina. So let's take a look here. So we already know what the boss is going to do. So they're going to come here. They're going to attack the furthest target. They just attack the furthest target for a lot. But now look at you counterattack. You heal. Actually, normally you heal that target, but they're too far away. You get your attack because that's the counterattack. You get a follow-up because that's a normal attack. And then you get to use your attack because that's another attack. So all 4 of our characters attacked when he did that attack. And it's not done. It's not done. So these attacks are AoE, so they don't trigger it, right? And we're here to just block that. But this one here, this will... oh, they targeted the wrong one. Dang it. It's okay, it'll still work, but we wanted them to target the other one. So that still got the target, and that got the target. And now we can speed it up again. So you can see the power of this synergy here. Killing that guy is actually super important. We definitely made a mistake putting you too far away. I mean, that's on me. So let's go ahead and get our heal on. You do get an attack first, which is pretty nice. I kind of want you to just target, if you can. Point is we're playing bad. I totally forgot that I should have moved her back here. There wasn't really a point, so I need you to move up here. Can you actually hit this guy at any point? No, I don't think so. So you're just going to target this guy because he's going to do the AoE thing. And I think there's a good chance that we actually die here. But what we're going to do is we're going to try to kill this guy up here. Can you hit that guy? Yes, but not enough to kill him, huh? That'll kill him. Okay, this is fine. Because you'll follow up. So that's 2 of her attacks. She could even do a 3rd one here. I don't want you to be the closest, do I? I want you to be over here. I don't want you to be the furthest. Actually, I do want you to be the furthest. So we will go ahead and activate your thing. Even though we didn't get like full use out of it, it's still gonna... Actually, we did get full use out of it. Never mind. Fuck me, I guess. And now let's go ahead. Both of these attacks are pretty good. We can apply... We have Burning Assault. So hopefully you heal Nemesis here, and hopefully Nemesis, like, we might need to reposition, but the point I'm trying to highlight here, right, is this synergy here and here. So watch this. When they attack the closest target, I think you start with the farthest. Yep, it's probably tied, actually. Boom, you get hit, but then that triggers you to go, because it triggers your counterattack, and you go before the counterattack, and you're healing on their turn with that counterattack. And then you get to attack, and then you get to attack as well. Then we're not done. Now you get attacked, and you're gonna live because you're super tanky. And then it's gonna be the same thing, except this, she's not gonna go. She's already activated twice. Oh, and that other one actually activated all their times as well because we used it on that. So it wasn't as many, but you see the idea here of the synergies, right? So then we come up here. We could use that. We might just be able to kill them this turn, if I'm being honest. We probably want you to be here to take both the hits. No, we want you to be here at the absolute. Someone's going to sacrifice themselves there, I think. So if we could target a tile, this would be really good because you'd be able to put yourself in Hydro, but you can't. Normally, this is really good to put yourself in Hydro, but it's a big enemy, and you have to target their center. So that's not very good. So I think we're just going to attack. But first, before we do that, we are only at 5. So let's just go ahead and give ourselves a normal support boost here. And then we will follow up. We're not even worried about this guy, if I'm being completely honest. All we care about is the closest and the farthest. This is actually pretty good. Let's do this. Fuck yeah, let's go. Nemesis is only doing 600 damage, and she's hitting for 1300. So you can see that there's definitely a lack of consistency there. This only does 2 stability. This is 4 stability, so we will go ahead and hit that. You're gonna get absolutely wrecked, by the way. Although being next to this does, I believe, give you your stability index. Although I don't know if the boss considers itself as flanking you, if I'm being honest. So also keep in mind, her thing lasts for 3 turns. Feeling full, so she still has more. She doesn't even have to use it yet. In fact, I'd probably just use this, but it's actually not necessary. I would just use, that does 80% and this does 70%. But it does cover this all in water, so we could stand next to it next turn. It's not, she doesn't do that much damage particularly. I actually think that kept him alive. I think it prevented him from breaking that. But now you hit the farthest, boom, boom. You're going to turn around and hit the closest. And what's great here is that they hit the closest and she dies. It doesn't matter. You still trigger and you still trigger. So it's so many attacks. And then, yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll just, we'll end you here, right? I do like Nemesis. She does feel cool, but I think I need a little more effort into her because like she's hitting her best attack for 940. Her normal auto attack is hitting for more than that. So yeah, that's the team and that's the combo. Her being able to counterattack triggers the supports and it triggers you know, Q. It's just an insanely powerful single target like damage team, and it also she does reasonable, not amazing, but reasonable damage. And on top of that, she also does tons of stability protection. So just a super powerful unit, and we'll do a full breakdown of her, but I really wanted to highlight this synergy. If you have both Sabrina and Q, then you can do this no problem. And if you have Groza, you could still do it. It's just going to be, instead of 3 times a turn, it's going to be 1 time a turn, but that'll help you get that 4th hit with the ultimate, right? When you have the ultimate of Q up at full, as you know, if you have 6 energy, you use it, you go up to a 4th charge. And so now Groza can attack. And then on your turn, when you get attacked, she can attack again with a counter attack. And that will cause you basically to be even a potentially better version of Tololo. So yeah, you should be utilizing this for sure. This is going to bring you to the next level, at least on single target bosses. Against like big AoE stuff, I think it actually still could be pretty good against like a swarm, because if you one-shot them, then you're going to just keep one-shotting them. But yeah, there we go. I'm very happy that I pulled Sabrina. She is my waifu for life-oo. Ooh, also, there's a trend here with things that go on the legs. They want it to be tight enough to really make an indent on their legs, don't they? If you look at anything that's on anyone's legs, it always indents. I don't know, is that sexy? I guess it must be. Anyway, guys, that's all for this one. Much love. Purplatypus is Purplatypus. I'll see you on the flip-flops. Bye! On the rise, watch the views go.
king, never down, always showing up, hitting milestones.